What happens to your eyes under the influence of certain drugs? Why do police officers perform sobriety tests by looking at someone's pupils? Let's take a closer look at what happens to the eye when a substance enters one's system. There are different types of categorizations for drugs, but based on their general indicators, like effects on the eye, they're separated into the following 7 groups: central nervous system depressants, central nervous system stimulants, hallucinogens, dissociative anesthetics, narcotic analgesics, inhalants, and cannabis. Here you can see some examples of the most known depressants: alprazolam with the brand name Xanax, alcohol, and diazepam, often just called Valium. Depressants are characterized by causing drowsiness, by acting like tranquilizers or sedatives, and are therefore useful to treat anxiety, panic, or sleep disorders. They can slow brain activity by increasing the actions of the chemical gamma-aminobutyric acid. The next category are CNS stimulants. Popular stimulants include caffeine, cocaine, and nicotine. Stimulants typically improve alertness, focus, and energy by increasing the levels of certain neurotransmitters in the brain, for example dopamine or serotonin. By doing that, they also decrease appetite or the need for sleep. Legal stimulants are often used as treatment for ADHD or narcolepsy. Hallucinogens include the synthetic drug LSD, psilocybin, and peyote, better known as mescaline. What they have in common is that they can cause seemingly real hallucinations for its users, and they may also feel disconnected from their bodies. They work by disrupting communication between brain chemicals such as serotonin. Dissociative anesthetics are best known for its popular representatives phencyclidine, ketamine, and dextromethorphan, and can have very similar effects on consciousness and mind as some hallucinogens, including the experience of feeling detached from their physical environment or body. They affect the brain by preventing the chemical glutamate from acting at the receptors. Narcotic analgesics, also called opioids, are known for pain relievers such as codeine, oxycodone, and the illegal narcotic heroin. Opioids block the nerve passages responsible for the transmission of pain by binding to opioid receptors in the brain. Inhalants refer to substances that can be consumed only by inhaling, for example the gas from whipped cream dispensers or solvents such as glue and paint thinner. They can slow down brain activity and cause slurred speech, dizziness, and a feeling of euphoria by activating the brain's dopamine system. The final category is cannabis, which can come in form of hashish oil, edibles, or the smokable type, in joints for example. Tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, the psychoactive part included in all cannabis products, stimulates the reward system to release more dopamine. All marijuana products come from the cannabis plant, and symptoms may include altered senses, mood changes, and impaired memory. So let's look at how these 7 drug categories affect the physical appearance and reactions of the eye. The first indicator is called lack of convergence. When asked to focus on an object close to their eyes, the eyes of sober individuals will cross normally, like exhibited by this person. However, the same normal crossing of the eyes will happen to a person under the influence of 3 drug types noted below the clip: stimulants, hallucinogens, and narcotic analgesics. Now, if someone is high on depressants, dissociative anesthetics, inhalants, or cannabis is asked to do the same task, one or both eyes will unfocus involuntarily, and therefore the eyes will not cross. They can't fix their gaze on an object so close. It requires crossing to focus, like shown in these examples. The second indicator is the horizontal gaze nystagmus. People without active drug use or high on the substances noted below will showcase a steady look to the very left and right, meaning the eyes will remain in the exact same position without any twitching. Under the influence of depressants, dissociative anesthetics, and inhalants, however, one will find an involuntary muscle movement or spasm when looking as much to the right and left as possible. The eye will twitch very quickly from side to side, which is almost unnoticeable most of the time, like shown in these examples. Similar to this indicator, the same thing happens with the vertical gaze nystagmus. Individuals under the influence of the named drugs or sober will be able to look up and down steadily. When the vertical gaze nystagmus is present, the eye will twitch quickly at the very top and bottom when looking up and down, the same way it has before when looking to the left and right. This movement cannot be controlled, and it happens when somebody took a certain amount of depressants, dissociative anesthetics, or inhalants. Another indicator is the pupil size. For some drugs or sober, the size can be normal, dilated, meaning bigger, or constricted, meaning smaller. After consuming depressants, anesthetics, inhalants, or nothing at all, one will have normal-sized pupil, which typically means anywhere from 2 to 8 millimeters, depending on the light situation, because pupils are normally bigger when it's dark and smaller in bright lights. Big dilated pupils are showcased by someone under the influence of stimulants, hallucinogens, or cannabis. Here you can see the comparison. Also, depending on the brightness, this can mean a diameter of 5 mm or bigger in intense lights, and 8 mm or more when it's darker. Individuals intoxicated because of narcotic analgesics have pupils of a small constricted size. Therefore, about 2 mm or smaller in diameter in the day, or 5 mm and smaller in the night. Finally, how fast the pupils react to a new lighting situation is the last indicator. Drug-free, undissociative anesthetics or cannabis will lead to a normal light reaction. That means the pupils will adjust their size in about 5 seconds. Drug-induced slow reaction to light can take between 10 to 15 seconds. This is the case after depressant, stimulant, or inhalants consumption. Here you can see how much longer a slow reaction takes compared to a normal one. The only drug that causes little to no reaction at all are narcotic analgesics. Hereby, the pupil hardly changes size even when confronted with bright lights or shadows. Here you can see the comparison. This leads us to this chart, which provides a final overview of what we've just discovered about the indicators of the 7 drug categories. I hope you could learn something.